Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to all of my Scorpios and happy almost New Year. If you are a Scorpio sun, moon, rising, or north node, this is your tarot reading for the upcoming month of January of 2025. Get excited, we are almost there in the home stretch. And in case anybody is interested, I will be using my brand new tarot deck, the Grateful Dead Tarot deck. I love this deck so much. I love the symbolism. I love the colors. It's so fun. I love the connections to the band and the music. So hopefully you guys will love it too. And with all that said, let's see what Scorpio has in store for the new year. Okay, Scorpio. So I don't know if you guys saw because it was sped up, but no cards wanted to fall out. And when that happens, I always count down from five in my head. And then I pull the card on the bottom of the deck. I pull two cards from the top of the deck and then use the card that is now on the bottom of the deck as that. So the first card that was on the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups. The first card that came out from the top of the deck is the Sun reverse or the Sunflower reverse for this deck. The third card is the Seven of Cups. And then on the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles reverse. And the Magician reverse is under the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Cups upright is under the Magician reverse. So you guys can get a good look at that. And then I'll show you the Two of Cups upright as well. So with all of this Cups energy, you are going to be tapping into your emotional body in the new year, which I think is amazing. I think with Scorpio, represented by the scorpion compared to the crab or the fish, if you think about it symbologically, if you think about the symbology, the crab can go in the waters and back out of the waters. They can be submerged in the depth and then take themselves out and find balance between the two. The fish is totally inundated in that water at all times, but the scorpion lives in the desert. And the desert is completely void of water now. That hasn't always been the case. There's still access to that depth that once was the bottom of the ocean, but navigating through those depths can be a little bit trickier for Scorpio, even though they feel those depths just as deeply as the other water signs. It's being able to navigate and express them in a healthy way that's usually more difficult for Scorpios to do. But you are learning more about yourself and you're learning how you can best navigate that. And through that, you're finding a really deep sense of personal emotional fulfillment. Oh, yeah. Oh, oh, this is interesting. So only focusing on the cups cards right now. We have the 10, the 7, and the 2. So right now, we're in the month of January, I should say. You are feeling a deep sense of emotional fulfillment. Of you feel like yourself more than you ever have. And it might be that whether you're in a relationship or not, you are feeling the sense of fulfillment regardless of who else is around you right now. You're feeling the sense of fulfillment just from being who you are and accepting who you are. But at the same time, and I think this sun reverse has to do with certain relationships in your life. And that's where the 7 comes in. It's that choice. It's that choice. So when the sun is upright, or the sunflower again in this deck, when the sun is upright, it's like a connection to your inner child. It's total authenticity without even a second thought about it. It's becoming more of yourself than you ever have been because you are connecting deeply with who you were before all of the conditioning and the layers got piled on top of there. But when it's reversed, it's like that part of you wants to come out, but it feels like it can't for some reason. It feels like there's something in the environment that's not allowing it. And I'm specifically stating in the environment because that's what I think this is right now. Whether it's a relationship you're currently in or a relationship that's coming to you, and it doesn't have to be romantic, it can also be like platonic, it can be a friendship, it can be a familial relationship. It's something that's very, very near and dear to your heart, which isn't always romance. It's feeling like a soul contract kind of thing where you are feeling this personal fulfillment, but for whatever reason, maybe a relationship in your life is making you feel like you can't actually express that fulfillment outwardly. So it might be time to sit down and reflect and make a choice and see if this relationship is actually meant for you or if it's time to kind of cut those ties and move ahead with your life. Um, and with the Two of Pentacles and the Magician reverse as well, it's almost as if you staying in this friendship, partnership, whatever it may be, it's preventing you from really tapping into the true thriftiness and magic and the ability to manifest that you have on earth. There's delays in this because of this relationship. And it's not necessarily due to the other person, but it's due to the way you respond to the other person. And I think it is more on your side where it's just not a compatible match. It's just not a compatible match, but you might be projecting your feelings of like, oh, I can't be myself around this person. You might be projecting those feelings onto the other person as if it's their fault, but in actuality, you're not accepting your own part in the circumstance. And because you're not accepting the role you play in that circumstance and you're projecting, whatever's going on, that's part of the choice too, is owning up to your own responsibilities and saying, you know what, maybe it has nothing to do with the other person and maybe we're just not compatible and that's okay. But that's going to be the hardest part for you, Scorpio, because you guys are known for your deep personal relationships. And being ruled by Pluto or Mars, whichever the traditional or the modern rulership you go through. Both are very like intense relationships, and Scorpio is a very karmic sign. So you might be used to getting really close with somebody and then for whatever reason it falling apart and then getting really close and then falling apart. And it's like this roller coaster of like, okay, I feel great because I have all these people around me and then the next day it's like everybody's gone. You're like, what the hell? Like starting from scratch. So there might be a part of you that is preventing yourself from speaking up, from getting into your power because you don't want to lose this person. But Scorpios are able to tap more deeply into their magic when they understand that their life is a very karmic cycle. And although the shedding might hurt them in the short term, it's like we'll go Shrek. It's literally like being you're at the center of the onion, or your heart, your life path, your ultimate fulfillment is at the center of this onion, right? And around this onion are layers and layers and layers of things that just aren't meant for you. And when you're on the outer layer, when the outer layer of the onion has been exposed for too long, it starts to wither away and die. So you rip that part of the layer off. And then the next part, when it's been exposed for too long, it dies. And then until you get to the core of that onion. And that core is where you are. Or think of it as a lotus if you don't want to be compared to an ogre. Think of it like like a lotus. It's that center is where the bloom happens. It all stems from the center. And that center is ultimately what you're getting to as you move through these layers. But moving through the layers means shedding what doesn't belong to you, shedding what doesn't align to you. And again, although it might hurt in the short term, think of it as a way of moving closer to what is actually yours, what you are actually meant to obtain in this lifetime. Because the only way you can get to the sun upright and the magician upright, or what is it in this one? The musician and the sunflower upright is if you navigate through those layers. And that's not to say again that you're not allowed to feel the pain of the loss. I think it's more important than ever as a Scorpio, as a water sign, that you allow yourself to feel the pain. So you're not holding on to bitterness or the desire for revenge or whatever it may be. Feel what needs to be felt so you can release it and continue forward on your path. Because the 10 of cups was the first card out. It's emotional fulfillment, it's personal fulfillment, it's feeling happy and connected with yourself and your community and the people that you are surrounded with. And the only way you can get to this ultimate fulfillment is by making the choice to release what truly does not serve you in the long run, because you'll just be connecting more deeply with yourself in that process. And with the Two of Cups, that denotes relationships coming in as well. So we'll go back to the Seven of Cups. Definitely use discernment with any new people coming in your life, but don't be overly paranoid about it. Life is about experience. Life is about trial and error. And Scorpios, when you hold on too deeply to what doesn't belong, you're cutting yourself off from that flow. Life is experimentation, and sometimes we need to experiment to find what doesn't work because that's helping us learn about what does, helping us learn about ourselves, and then moving forward from there. Wowza. Okay. So that was a lot of cards that fell out there. So we used the one on the bottom there. Oh, the Hierophant! Love it. Okay. Another cups. Four of Cups upright. King of Pentacles reverse. The Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. On top of the Lovers. On top of the Four of Pentacles. That's tarot cards. They always know what they're doing. I'm telling you. And then this was like a chunk of cards, so we'll only go for which one was showing. The Page of Wands reverse. Okay, so the Hierophant, the Lovers, and the Four of Pentacles wants to be discussed first. I don't know if I showed you these cards. I think I did, but I'm going to show you again. So it was Hierophant, then the Lovers, and then the Four was underneath the Lovers there. And then the Six of Pentacles is underneath the Four, too. Wow. It's literally like a storybook. So Hierophant, Lovers, 4, 6. This is saying you have the ability to be guided by that which you cannot see, your intuition or higher powers or whatever it may be, whatever you believe in. You have the ability to receive messages from the divine, from yourself, that will ultimately lead you to more fulfillment in love, in yourself, a greater sense of freedom in your choices, the ability to connect more deeply with yourself, to make the right decision for you on your journey. But the only way you can do that is if you release the desire to grasp onto things with dear light. The Four of Pentacles is all about, it's like stopping the flow of the finances you receive. You might receive a big windfall of money. We'll use money as an example, but I think this is more, regardless. You receive a big windfall of money. And once you get that money, you're like, oh my God, I have to save it all. I'll put this portion to bills and then I'm saving it all. I'm never letting go because this is going to be my rainy day fund. And by doing that, by hoarding, by holding on so tightly to what was given to you are shutting off the flow. And ultimately, if you didn't hold on so tightly and you let yourself be loose with it and have fun with it and be generous, why can't I get the card? Be generous, the Six of Pentacles, with what you have, the energy, the resources, with what you have, you cutting off that flow is you preventing yourself from obtaining more. Because you could have gotten this big win, and I'm using money as an example, you could have gotten this big windfall of money. And if you were like, you know what, I'm going to use this to celebrate, I deserve it. Your celebration would then lead you to meet somebody that can give you another windfall that's twice as much as the windfall you already got, for example. Stop the desire to grasp onto everything so tightly, because by doing that, you are therefore disrupting the flow of joy, of abundance, of love, of relationships that can come into your life to offer you something greater than what you are holding on to. And the Six of Pentacles, again, it's all about being generous with your energy. Saying if you want to connect with the divine, to connect more deeply with yourself, to be able to trust your intuition enough to make the right choices, you need to let go of what you are trying to grasp onto and be more generous with your energy and with yourself too. The Scorpio, again, I know it hurts to have to go through this cycle of connection and loss over and over again, but ultimately that is your karma. That is your karmic path. And the more you are able to let go without resistance, the more you are aligning yourself to what truly does belong to you and what will stay long term. But the only way you are going to get there is if you learn to let go and shed and shed and shed. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think scorpions shed their skin like snakes do. I might be wrong. Or maybe they shed their stinger. I might be wrong. I might be making that up. But there was a reason I said it. There was a reason I said it. It's all about shedding and growing and shedding and growing and shedding and growing and acknowledging and accepting who you are in today, like in this very moment that we are speaking or that you are listening, I should say. In this very moment, acknowledging who you are and what doesn't align with who you are today. Because you are always changing, you are always growing, you are always morphing. And in order to have your environment match that, it means letting go of what doesn't match you, the version of you that you are today. What else just came out? Was it just the King and the Page, I believe? Yeah, I think the other ones were already out, right? I think so. So, oh no, so the Four of Cups also fell out. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but the Four of Cups is the same thing. It's, in the Rider Waite deck, it shows a person sitting under a tree just like this, just like pissed off because that he has three cups in front of him. And he's like, no, I don't want those cups. And the universe is there's a cup coming from a hand in a cloud next to his face. Like, here, what about this cup? And he's just like, no, 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 no. Again, cutting himself off from the flow of what could be because he is so stuck on what he thinks he wants. Like, this whole reading is just like, be open, Scorpio. Be open to the possibility that what could be is better than what is. And that's it. Because if you're so focused on what you want, oh my God, this song again. This came out for Capricorn. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you'll get what you need. You'll get what you need. And with the Page of Wands reverse and the King of Pentacles reverse, that's ultimately saying you are cutting yourself off from this ability to experience the vastness that life has to offer, the connection to your intuition that brings you more of these sacred messages, these sacred gifts to you. You are cutting yourself off from that flow and cutting yourself off from your ultimate success, your ultimate financial abundance, your ultimate abundance, period. Your connection to community. You are cutting yourself off in that way when you don't allow yourself to let go. Period. And the Tower was under the Page of Wands reverse. And the Six of Cups was under the Tower. So we had both sixes and both fours come out for Cups and Pentacles in this shuffle. I'm sorry if you can hear my stomach growling. It is beatboxing for me. But with the Tower coming out under the Page of Wands reverse, the Page of Wands reverse, it's it's I'm only laughing because it's like you might want to hold on, but ultimately you don't have the option to. And the Tower is almost like an omen saying, if you don't want to willingly let go, it's going to happen anyway. So learn how to let go. Learn how you can be the one dictating the release so you don't feel constantly blindsided by the fact that people come and people go. Experiences come, experiences go. Opportunities come, opportunities go. And I think that's part of the reason, Scorpio, that you guys do feel so deeply. It's because you don't know how to surrender to the flow of life because you are too busy holding on for dear life to everything you have because you are afraid it will go away. And you can actually see that in this card. Like, he's holding on to all of his teddy bears with literally with his dying breath. With his dying breath. Learn to let go. And I know it's easier said than done. But in that process, when you're feeling sad about the possibility of something leaving you, somebody leaving you, whatever it may be, tell yourself that what is coming is better than what has gone. What is coming is better than what has gone. What is coming is better than what has gone. That's a mantra I've been using in my life these last couple months because my own life had a massive tower moment. And that mantra in itself, I would say it every time I felt myself getting overwhelmed with the unknown. Because that's all my life has been these last couple months was like, I have no idea what is going on next. What's going on now? But that mantra, what is coming is better than what has gone. What is coming is better than what has gone. It brings you into that present moment, gives you a chance to breathe and connect with yourself in that moment. So you can gain clarity about what you do want moving forward and how what you have or what you had doesn't align with you, and how this tower moment is actually a blessing. It's a blessing that's letting you shed your skin, step into that new hermit crab shell, whatever you want to do, step like have your new skin be nice and shiny in the sun and slither towards whatever it is you're actually seeking in this present moment. But the only way you can get to that is if you let go of what does not serve you today any longer. And that's gonna require you to be radically honest and make some really hard choices. And maybe, again, to avoid this tower moment, maybe it's you making the choice to leave rather than waiting until some hectic thing happens that causes both parties to hurt. Don't be afraid to be the one to make the change, only because you're terrified of change. Because remember, what is coming is better than what has gone. What is coming is better than what has gone. What is coming is better than what has gone. What is coming is better than what has gone. What is coming. You see, and there's excitement waiting for you. Oh my god, I had chills. There's excitement waiting for you. There's a deeper sense of personal fulfillment and connection, where's the Two of Cups, and connection with others awaiting you. There's that opportunity to take that frown and turn it upside down, baby, with the Magician and the Sun. Two of the most prominent, powerful, self connecting cards in the entire tarot. And when they're reversed, that doesn't mean the energy's cut off from you. It's just you need to navigate around these obstacles to reach that upright position. And the obstacle, I think, in this case is just you. It's you and your depth of feeling and your resistance to change. You fixed signs, Scorpio. You fix signs, which means you're fixed in your ways. But again, it's time to shed that skin. Ooh, that was so good. That was so good, if I do say so myself. And if you guys did like that, go ahead and leave me a like and leave me a comment. Let me know how it resonated. And of course, remember, we do this every single month for all of the signs. So if you're interested in getting your tarot forecast for the month ahead, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you guys here in the future. And if you do want a personal reading for tarot, astrology, numerology, and human design, they are all available on my website, which is linked in the description below. I also have my Patreon down there where I'm always posting spiritual topics, random things, spiritual education, everything there. So if you're interested, go ahead and check that out. I would love to see you there as well. But Scorpio, this new year is literally a transition. It's a transition into a better you, a more connected you, a more a more you. So release that desire to grasp on to straws so you can allow gold to come into your life. Good luck out there. I love you guys.